If you've got single-track railways, which they did in America, you've got yourself a singularly difficult problem. You have to have trains going in both directions. That's okay because you can put one train on a siding while the other goes by, if you get your timing right. If you don't, you get trains going in both directions, but not for long. These sudden stops stopped in 1856 when a network of signalling stations was set up using the recently invented Morse telegraph system. The key sent a coded electrical signal down a wire, and when the on-off electricity got to the other end, it turned a magnet on and off, making a metal bar click up and down, sounding out the code. Now we come to the part where the jigsaw gets put together. And that happened here in this room in New Jersey in the last quarter of the 19th century. And it was done by a man who put together more jigsaws than anybody ever did, a fellow called Thomas Edison. He took the arc light idea of making it glow by causing a spark to jump across two carbon rods like this. Then he went through, 6,000 different carbonized materials before settling on carbonized thread, put that thread inside a glass bulb, and succeeded where maybe 20 people before him had failed because he had the one thing they didn't have, this new German vacuum pump, which allowed him to have an almost perfect vacuum inside his bulb. He then ran electricity through the thread, and there, in 1879, was the world's first commercially feasible electric light. Now, what do you do with that? Well, you remember Hyatt's billiard ball? The outer shell of that was made of a material which an obscure clergyman called Hannibal Goodwin turned into sheets, and a famous businessman called Eastman put into a camera. Celluloid. In 1886, Muybridge, remember him? Talked to Edison about his moving horse pictures, and Edison then asked Eastman if he would make him a long strip of this celluloid. And on that, he put a lot of pictures, taken very quickly, one after the other, just like Muybridge had done. He also put a lot of holes on the strip so that he could move it because the holes would get caught in a spinning wheel that had teeth in it. Down there is one of Edison's kinetoscopes in which he put the whole thing together. Celluloid, toothed wheel in there, back here the light source that would later on become a light bulb. And I don't have to tell you what that all came together to become. Roll 'em. The trail has led us to the movies. You remember how the cannonball changed things in the 15th century, causing a new kind of defensive fortification? And how the gunners used instruments to line up their guns? And when Henry VIII closed all the monasteries and sold the land, those same instruments helped surveyors make maps of everywhere but Scotland. Until Wade built his road, and they decided to map the whole of Britain, but got nowhere in Ireland, until William Drummond produced his new limelight, surveyors could see from miles away. And how he tried it in lighthouses because too many ships were going down. But the limelight needed so much gas, Nolle and Holmes tried making it with electricity generators that Graham improved on enough to be able to power the arc light, and how this arc light was the first piece of a 4-part jigsaw. The second piece being Hyatt's billiard ball that sometimes had explosive tendencies in unfortunate places. The third piece was the projector for teaching artillery students that D'Urberville made famous. And Muybridge picked up the idea to make consecutive pictures that appeared to move when they were on film. Which leaves the fourth piece, the Morse telegraph, which I haven't explained yet. The moving pictures rapidly became all the rage as the new wonder of science kicked off Hollywood and all that. The only trouble with the new moving pictures was